For Jake, this fight against Gervonta Tank Davis isn't just another payday or headline. It's a test, a statement, a chance to prove that the YouTube kid who started as a meme has transformed into a legitimate athlete. He's talking differently, training differently, and moving with the kind of confidence that borders on obsession. "I'm in my athletic prime," he says, his voice heavy with conviction. He believes his body has evolved, that his strength is sharper, his endurance higher, his purpose clearer than ever before. But even as he talks about transformation, there's a tone in his voice that hints at something else. Fear. Respect. Awareness of the danger that awaits him. Because Tank Davis is no ordinary opponent. He's not a man you can intimidate with words or outwork with hustle. Tank is a certified killer in the ring, a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter who carries thunder in both hands. For years, he's destroyed men bigger than him, stronger than him, and far more experienced. His footwork, his patience, his ability to read opponents like open books, it's all part of what makes him terrifying. When people talk about size, they forget Tank has been sparring heavyweights since his early 20s. Not just holding his own, but dismantling them. The stories of him dropping men twice his size have become gym legends, whispered among fighters who know better than to underestimate the short man with the granite fists. Jake Paul says he's aware of this. He doesn't dismiss the danger, doesn't pretend Tank's size makes him harmless. In fact, he admits something rare. He's scared. Not scared to fight, but scared of what happens when Tank connects. That kind of honesty from Jake is new and it's telling. It shows that beneath the bravado and the viral promos, there's a man who knows exactly what he's walking into. This isn't like his bouts with retired MMA fighters or faded legends. This is a showdown with a prime, ferocious boxer who's built his reputation by ending fights in ways that make audiences gasp. In training, Jake has surrounded himself with talent. He's brought in world champions like Raymond Ford and Montana Love, and even convinced Shakur Stevenson, one of boxing's purest technicians, to help him prepare. He says it's the most intense camp of his life, and that he's sparring at a higher level than ever before. But even that comes with complications. Shakur was once one of the biggest critics of this fight, mocking it as a circus act and questioning why a world champion like Tank would waste his time fighting a YouTuber. Yet now, for the right price, Shakur is part of Jake's camp. It's a decision that has fans divided. Some see it as business, easy money for sparring work. Others see it as hypocrisy. Another example of how quickly opinions change when the check clears. Critics say Shakur's move isn't about helping Jake, but about keeping his own name attached to Tank's. Because in boxing, rivalries sell, but beneath all the noise and narratives, one truth keeps echoing through the sport. Tank Davis is special. His power defies physics. Showbiz analysts and fighters who've witnessed his sparring sessions swear that he's hurt heavyweights in the gym. Big men who outweigh him by 60 or 70 pounds. One story recalls a sparring partner leaning motionless on the ropes after a Tank left hook, his body frozen, his eyes lost somewhere between consciousness and collapse. "I thought he died," one witness said. And that's the reputation Tank carries, not just as a knockout artist, but as a man whose punches change the temperature of the room. So when Jake Paul says this is his toughest test, he's not exaggerating. Every advantage he thinks he has, height, reach, youth, muscle, is countered by Tank's speed, timing, and ring IQ. Jake's 6'3" frame might make him look like a giant next to the 5'7" Davis. But what happens when that giant can't hit his target? Tank is known for making opponents miss by millimeters, slipping punches so fast it looks like camera trickery. Against Jake, his smaller frame could actually work to his advantage. A moving, shifting target that's hard to pin down and deadly in counterattack. Tank's move to 140 pounds adds another layer to the story. He's no longer draining his body to make weight, no longer sacrificing strength for size. At this weight, he feels free, fast, and stronger than ever. He said himself that the cut to 135 left him sluggish, that his punches didn't carry the same snap after the grueling cuts. Now, at 140, he's comfortable, and that makes him dangerous. Fans who think Jake's natural size gives him the edge might be missing the point. Tank's comfort in this new division could mean his power, already devastating, reaches its peak. Meanwhile, the boxing world buzzes with debate. Some call it a money grab, others a groundbreaking crossover that could shake the sport. The rumored purses, hundreds of millions of dollars from Netflix's backing, sound almost unbelievable. Analysts scoff at the idea of $200 million each, calling it fantasy, but even the more realistic numbers are staggering. Whether it's 20 or 40 million apiece, both men are walking into one of the richest fights of their careers. For Tank, it's validation. For Jake, it's legacy. The critics, of course, are loud. Some accuse Tank of selling out, chasing clout instead of competition, but the same people throwing stones would likely jump at the same opportunity. It's jealousy, pure and simple. Tank has always carried that burden, hated for his success, envied for his earnings, doubted even after a decade of dominance. The louder the critics get, the more dangerous he becomes. Offset, weighing in from the outside, adds an interesting twist. He admits Jake's size gives him a chance, but even he concedes that Tank's skill is on another level.
He's too fast, too sharp, Offset says.
Jake might not even land clean. And that's what makes this fight so compelling. It's not just muscle versus muscle. It's instinct versus discipline, raw ambition versus refined mastery. As the date draws closer, anticipation turns electric. You can feel the tension in every interview, every sparring clip that leaks online. Jake's camp looks focused but cautious. Tank's looks cold, silent, certain. Both men know what's at stake. For Jake, it's the fight that could finally make him undeniable. For Tank, it's a reminder to the world that skill, not size, rules the ring. The bell will ring. The crowd will rise, and for a few heart-stopping rounds, the line between spectacle and sport will blur completely. Maybe Jake shocks the world with the right hand heard round the internet. Maybe Tank reminds everyone why boxing belongs to the boxers. Either way, it'll be unforgettable. Now the question is, who are you betting on? Do you believe Jake Paul's newfound discipline and size can finally overcome a pure fighter like Tank Davis? Or do you think Tank's timing, power, and experience will humble the YouTuber once and for all? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love seeing these stories from the edge of boxing's wildest moments, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the fights shaking up the world, and turn on notifications so you never miss a punch, a knockout, or a rivalry reborn. This is where boxing meets history, and it's only just beginning.